Hello watch enthusiasts and welcome to Watch Chronicler. Over the next few days I'm going to be covering all of the most exciting releases from Watches and Wonders, the Geneva-based, or at least it was meant to be Geneva-based, show to showcase a vast number of brands participating and some of the incredible watches they're releasing. Now, in a similar way to my podcast, which runs once a week, this is unscripted and is just going to be produced as new releases come out on a daily basis over roughly the next week. And the first brand I'd like to speak about, and this will be a much heavily abridged version of what you'll find on the Watch Chronicler website, so do head over there to catch all the latest in terms of full details, full analyses of these watches, and real consideration if you want to learn more. But the first brand I'd like to speak about, and I really would like to highlight in these short unscripted videos, is Cartier, because they've released a new Santos and an assortment of other models, but the first thing I'd like to speak about is the Santos, because they've released 4 models which I think are particularly wonderful from the Santos-Dumont collection in limited runs, which celebrate the pilot after whom this collection is named and the incredible flying machines he made. Now, Cartier has a real allure to it. I think they are the most elegant of watch brands, and I think they have a particular position because they make at once mechanically very impressive watches at the higher ranges, but also incredibly stylish ones, and they understand design in a way which few brands do. And so the model they've chosen to use as a sort of homage to Alberto Santos-Dumont, I suppose as you would say his name, as a Brazilian pilot, they've taken the standard watch, the Santos-Dumont, with its 43.5 by 31.4mm roughly rectangular case. It's a slim watch at 7.3mm thick. And inside all of these editions is the 430 MC, which is a Cartier movement, but which finds its origins at Piaget, which gives you a 3 Hz beat rate, manual winding, and 38 hours of power reserve. And the general way they've arranged this limited edition is that the price increases as the exclusivity increases. Now, the first watch in this collection, and I'm not going in terms of price, I'm going in terms of chronological order because they're named after each of these 4 flying machines, is Le Brésil, named obviously after Brazil. And this model in platinum is limited to 100 pieces at just under 18,000 Swiss francs a piece. And this piece is inspired by a hot air balloon which first flew in 1898 with Santos-Dumont at the helm. And this piece takes the general form of a platinum Cartier Santos, in the sense that it has the screwed bezel, the delicate case, with a strap, of course, because this is from the Santos-Dumont collection, not the normal Santos. And because it's platinum, it has a ruby cabochon on the crown, instead of the normal sapphire you would see. And so instead of any blue being visible on the dial, you have black hands, as well as Roman numerals which are applied to the dial in metal. And the dial itself also takes on an air of aviation, with a sunburst effect in silver, rather than being white, for example, as you would expect to see on one of the more conventional Cartier models. For 13,600 francs, you go down another rung, if you could ever say that about a Cartier of this style in a very limited run in yellow gold. But this piece is called La Baladeuse, which loosely translates as the Wanderer, which was a dirigible produced by Santos-Dumont and which he would fly around, and he was known in fact to fly it around Paris in a number of anecdotes in fact. And this piece is the most classically correct, limited to 300 pieces in 18 karat yellow gold. It's not the most exclusive in this collection, by any stretch, but it is the most traditionally correct. You have a yellow gold case, which is finished in the same beautiful way with brushing and polishing, and the same polished and screwed bezel, but now you see blue introduced into the mix over a sunburst gold dial with painted Roman numerals, and blue is introduced through the use of thermally blued hands and a sapphire cabochon added to the crown. And it's a stunning piece, it's a really beautiful piece, and also it's a piece which is inspired by a flying machine produced just the year before Cartier made the first Santos for him. The least rare model for 6,850 Swiss francs is the Kettles Beasts, and this is 14 bis if you'd prefer, and this relates to the 1906 first heavier-than-air plane produced by Santos-Dumont. And this was the first manned powered aircraft to cover 220 metres. And interestingly, this is perhaps the most important historically, because of course this was a really important moment for this famous aviator, in the sense we would see it today with a plane rather than a balloon. And these pieces are limited to 500 examples, and like all of the other variants produced of this limited edition, you do have a depiction of that particular aircraft on the case back. And limited to 500 pieces, these are stainless steel with a yellow gold bezel, and the general construction and build is the same, with the same dial arrangement, the same crown arrangement, the same size, and the same movement. But what you see here which is different is that the dial is now a sunburst black or anthracite colour, which gives real contrast, in addition to the crown still having the blue cabochon. And I think the overall design is very appealing, but also very different. So if you want to have an interesting limited edition Cartier, but you don't want to go in for the lunge of buying one of the platinum or gold models, and you're in the market for this sort of watch, this could be a really fascinating piece to have. The final example in this new collection is both the most exclusive, the most expensive, but on another side, it's also the most desirable and interesting. Because this model is La Demoiselle, and for a price of a pretty eye-watering 41,600 Swiss francs, you get a watch which is one of 30 pieces, which is probably the best example of the Santos-Dumont which we've seen thus far in terms of historical interest, beauty, and also difference from other examples on the market. Of course, it has the same case dimensions and construction as the other platinum version, with the same red cabochon on the crown. However, the dial is all changed, because this piece celebrates the most successful produced plane made by Santos-Dumont, and as such a few details have been added. Notably, if you look at the dial, you'll see that the hands are breguet hands, as seen on the original Cartier Santos-Dumont given to this famous pilot, which is of course historically important, but also you have the addition of a unique dial which has a few tweaks to pay homage to this man. Firstly, and I think what you'll notice first of all, is the square in the centre of the dial, which has been given a guilloche pattern which appears like the Panama hat which the pilot was known for wearing. And this is also a motif explored on the strap, with a fabric which is woven in the same pattern over over white leather, or cream leather. This is also one of two straps available with this watch, because it also comes with an alligator strap and a pair of red tiger's eye cufflinks to match the cabochon. And one detail which I find rather neat is the addition of Santos in the normal hidden signature, where you would normally see Cartier on the 7 marker on the dial. And so I think that as a collection, this set of watches is a really lovely way of looking back at the origins of the Santos-Dumont. And so I think that whilst the prices are, as is typical with Cartier, not what you would perhaps see as sensible from other brands, I'm sure these will sell extremely well, because they're delightful and rather whimsical in the way they've been designed and brought to market. So do look out for further videos, short videos about new releases and new pieces coming out over the next few days. Also head over to our website to be able to read full reviews and pieces about some of the most exciting models which don't make it onto the YouTube channel. But stay tuned, and thank you very much for watching. This is Armand from watchchronicler.com, out.